All right, we're going to do something different here on Let's Play Through today. Wade needs a new driver. He's got to build some distance. He's got to get longer. He's got to get straighter. So about a year ago, Wade used his own money, his hard-earned money, and bought a lesson pack over at Golftec, and that came with a driver fitting. So it was finally time for him to use that. So Wade and I went over to Golftec to get fit. So I'm going to warn you up front, this is going to be a very, very long video, but I think it's going to be really interesting to see how the fitting process works. Wade is currently a 10 handicap, and you know, some might argue that he plays like a 20 sometimes. So suffice it to say that Wade is your everyman golfer. This is going to be Wade's actual test. I'm going to do very, very little editing, which is why this video is going to be so long. But you're going to see the process of how Wade got fit at Golftec and how he came to the decision of what driver would be best for him. So some folks have seen glowing reviews that we've given to particular products here on this show, and they've assumed that we have some sort of deal worked out with the manufacturer, and that's completely not the case. Wade and I both are completely brand agnostic. We have no affiliations. We're not tied to any one particular brand. My bag is a complete hodgepodge. Currently, I play a Callaway driver, a Callaway 3-wood, a Wilson Staff hybrid, Mizuno irons, Vokey wedges, and a putter from Sax Parente, which is probably a company you've never even heard of. So literally, I have no brand affiliation at all. Wade's bag is a similar setup. I think he leans towards Callaway. He's had all sorts of different brands, and I know for sure his wedges are Titleist wedges. So no brand affiliation, nothing that we care about. The other caveat here is Wade has a gift card. He was given a gift card when he left his most recent job. They gave him a going away present, which was a golf store gift card. So his fitter at Golftec also knew that he would absolutely not be buying any of the clubs that he would be testing from them, which means this test is a completely blind test. So without further ado, I hope you enjoy Wade's Golftec fitting. Let's do it. All right, so we've just made it here to Golftec where Wade is going to get his fitting. Hope you enjoy it. We've got to wear masks. That's the rules here. We're going to be playing Wade's Encore golf ball, so he knows exactly the type of balls and what he's used to, and we're going to see what he gets fit into.
Arms down at your side there. Perfect. Your wrists to the ground, about 36. Okay, that's all I need from you there.
I love it.
Okay, ladies, now we know. Now we know.
You know what that means? You know, they say about
You know what they say about forearms?
Mm-hmm.
Forearm to ground ratio.
It just means a lot of hugeness down there. It's a family channel, dude. Come on.
No, it's not.
Good ball there.
I'll take that, yeah, for first swing of the day.
So this is kind of how the software works. So you hit a shot with your current club.
Okay.
I didn't have an Epic in there as the model, so we just put it as the Epic Flash. But we got the loft at 9 degrees, the shaft in there. Then as you hit, we see the ball speed, spin rates, launch angle, how far off line, the descent angle, and then the total distance. So we'll look for like 3 to 4 shots that you hit well.
Yeah.
Where you feel like, yep, that's a good shot, that was a good strike. And then we'll track the data of it. And then based on that data, we'll start to put some different head and shaft combinations together to try to maximize your ball flight.
That makes a lot of sense.
So
I like it.
go ahead and keep hitting.
This green zone, is that like based on his measurements? Because that's all you're going off of right now,
So if you were going to build stock perfect driver launch conditions, you would ideally want to be sort of within those green windows. Now that's not, you have to be in there depending on what some people want. Some people want to hit it higher with more spin so it doesn't go as far offline. So then you can just sort of track that data there. So I know for Wade, he probably wants to try to hit this ball as far as he possibly can.
A little distance would be nice.
Yeah. Without trying to compromise the spin rates or anything like that.
His wife said she'd leave him if he doesn't get at least 10 extra yards of distance.
Look at that, I about landed on the other,
Yeah, it's a pretty good shot there.
pretty much landed on the first one.
And what I'm going to do is I'm going to have you hit a couple more. I'm going to put some face tape on there too, just to see where you're hitting it on the face.
Good, okay.
But out of these 4 shots you hit,
Yeah.
averaging 133 ball speed, 2,700 spin, 12 launch, which isn't bad. Pretty straight. One of them was way offline at 40 yards, so I'll probably kick that one out just because that one was probably more of a miss hit than anything. So But then, if we looked at like this shot right here, this was the one you hit, that nice push draw right before that one.
Yes,
and you'd see how you hit it pretty good, totaled only 230, carried like 213 with the backspin rate that's really, really high.
Backspin, sure.
So if we can get that backspin rate down closer to low 2000s without compromising the launch angle, the descent angle, then you're offline, this ball's going to go farther. There's no
Makes
other,
sense,
there's no other option.
I love it.
So I'm going to kick that one out, and then I'm going to throw a piece of face tape on there just so we can kind of see where you're striking it on the face, and that'll help you determine some length. If we see a lot of strikes that are consistently like off the heel, typically that club can be too long. If we see a lot of strikes that are off the toe, typically that club can be too short. If we see it very sporadic, typically that means the club's too long for people.
Really?
Every shaft that we have in here, every shaft that the manufacturers give fitters to fit, are like 45.5 to 46 inches long.
To 46 even?
Yeah, so yours is at 45.5. The average driver length in the PGA Tour is 44.5. An inch shorter than all the clubs they sell, stock. So rarely do we.
The manufacturers are going, we don't care about your dispersion. Longer shaft,
you can
more speed,
and you can faster. And then you
so
get that
close.
one shot out of the center that goes really, really far, and then you can't hit it anywhere on the club face the rest of the time.
Let's hook in.
Okay, that one's less offline than the one we kicked out of there. We're just strike that one on the face. Dead in the center.
Oh, let me get a shot. Look at that.
Because that helps us determine it too. Like yours is at 45.5, but if you can consistently hit it close to the center, well, I wouldn't necessarily make that club any shorter.
You wouldn't change the length. Okay.
So if you can get that launch angle up higher, you should be able to carry farther.
What you'll see is that she has a very small backspin. Just about to where her hand gets.
There we go. Now we're cooking with fire.
Okay. You're going to see that she keeps.
That's better.
Yeah, that's much better.
Very low.
Pretty
dead flush in the center there. So we'll keep that face tape.
Okay.
Just set it over here, and then let's put a club together. And, so if we looked at like the averages of your shots there, of those 4 strikes, see how the spin rate's 2,800. If you're trying to get the most distance, that spin rate's a little too high.
Okay.
Now, if you wanted to, if you said, "Hey, I don't care how far this goes, I just want to keep it as straight as possible," you would want as much backspin as you could, right?
Okay.
And then the launch angle just a little low. So ideally, I'm trying to get this launch angle up somewhere between like 13 to 15, spin rate somewhere 21 to 25. And then descent angle should work out. So descent angle's not bad.
What are the details on the previous shot? I think it was the previous shot, the one that was pretty tasty, landed close to target, high draw.
So that shot carried 223, rolled out to 242, and had 2,300.
And what was that was a 16-degree launch angle.
Yeah, so that one was the one that you struck higher on the club face, because there's more loft on the top of the face than there is.
Okay, I remember you said that. Yeah. Okay.
So that one wasn't terrible. So let's go ahead, let's put something together. So seeing the launch angle's a little lower, I'm probably going to add some more loft to it.
You do it.
Even though the spin rate might go up a little bit, but let's start with that. So there's let's keep it in the regular sim. And then let's go 10.5 degree. And then shaft-wise, here are my TaylorMade shafts. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to start off, I'm going to go a little bit heavier because I'm going to add more loft, so I want to go a little heavier in the shaft to try to keep the spin rate down.
Okay.
And then there should be the length on the bottom of the shaft.
Do they give you multi-length shafts?
Like I said, they give us really long ones.
Oh, so do you get all the long ones?
Yeah, but if it's the same as yours and you were hitting it out of the center, so I'm not necessarily going to make it any lower at the moment.
Okay.
So I want you to swing that one first. I'll enter in this information in the computer. And we see results right off the rip on the first swing. The furthest carry you had, furthest total you had.
That's insane.
So you see the ball speed jumped up 2 miles an hour. Spin rate dropped down.
Wow.
We increased the launch angle so that this ball was able to carry farther. 5 yards offline is not bad. Descent angle is really good. Then you see your total is 256 versus you carried that one, your total of your other driver.
Did I really? Okay. Well, yeah, what was it? So 231, yeah. So again, you know, you're looking at just like 20 plus yards difference.
That's 23.
22.5.
22.5, sorry.
Oh, yeah, that's yeah. Good grief.
So what do I want you to do? Hit another one.
Yeah. That might go right. Yeah. I held that off. Feel that.
Yeah, so then we'll just toss that one out of there. Now what I'd say is probably a little heely.
Okay.
Just the spin rate jumped up really high, but we'll toss it out of there. Yeah, we'll toss it out of there. Hit one more, and then I'm going to put a piece of face tape on there.
Ooh, that was high on the face.
Yep. Little drop
Yeah.
kick.
But still, I mean,
Yeah, that one's not one we want to see.
yeah, it's not real.
I'm not going to fit you for. I want to fit you for your
miss
for your
hits.
good hits. I
Yeah.
don't want to fit you for your bad hits. We can miss hit any driver, and it's not going to perform.
Yeah.
If you're hitting it out of
right?
the center, you shouldn't be getting robbed of distance. That sounded pretty good.
Yeah.
Where'd you hit that one on the face?
Oh, that's right. Well, I mean, good grief.
You just need face tape on it, then you become a new
Yeah.
man.
Yeah.
Sound just like heel side. So the spin rate jumped up.
Yeah, and it was a low. It was a. I guess it was higher.
Launched
So
at
still
10.
higher than some of the other shots.
Yep. That's what with the more backspin, that ball's going to climb higher in the air.
Okay. It looks like the miss hits that are just the hard lefts are going longer though than the epic, that were the same low left shots.
Yep.
Is that correct, Brad?
You'd be correct.
Okay.
What I'm going to do is I'm just going to put a rubber band on this thing, and I'm going
Yeah.
to cut her down about a half an inch.
Okay, so I'm gonna pretend that's the top.
Yep. Since you just hit it slightly out of the heel side. So make that about a 45-inch driver. Might be closer to 44 and 3/4, but your wrist to the ground recommended
Okay.
44.75. Now again, that's not what your driver needs to be, but it's a good starting point. So make this a little shorter, get it closer to the center.
You can see that your shoulder tilt is more left hand. You can see that your right hand grip is more underneath those two pieces.
Bad. Remember, strike that one.
Only other thing I would say.
I can't honestly. I don't. Is that the
Yeah,
dead
it's right
center
on, right
one?
on top of there,
Okay. Yeah.
I'm gonna bump that down even more. I know it can get a little awkward
Yeah.
with the choking up on
I
it.
feel like Brooke Henderson.
Yes. You look like her too.
Do I?
Yeah.
Oh man.
Not a bad one there. So you had one pretty good one with that club, but then we see how it just still gets
Yeah.
a little spinny on you.
Yeah.
So I just want to throw in a different one here. Let's see what happens. I'm going to throw
Okay.
you in the new Ping G425 Lst. So go ahead, same loft, 10.5, 65 gram stiff,
Okay.
slow spin. We know that you're hitting them really close to the center, but slightly heel. That's why for you, I might go with just like a 45-inch driver.
Okay.
So with Lexi on the left, so we'll see that she has the ball on her back foot.
Sounded good. Oh, look at that nice
Yeah,
draw.
that's actually probably the shot of the day right there.
Oh, look at you pounding it.
So you hit that one, if we had face tape on it, that was probably a little high on the flip face.
Okay.
But backspin rate wasn't terrible. Launch was a little too high.
Launch was a little too high.
Yeah, that's where I said I think you hit it high on the club face.
Okay.
So let's hit another one like that though.
Yes, sir. Awesome. Oh, there it is. Okay.
Oh, you animal, you.
Not bad there.
Okay.
10 yards further than the Epic.
Yeah.
Hit another one.
It's going right, isn't it? Oh, that's a little draw, huh? That's perfect.
It looked, I mean, it sounded and looked good
Yeah.
from where I was.
Wasn't bad. Launch angle was better.
Higher backspin though, right?
So I'm going to put a piece of face tape on there now and let's see where we're kind of striking it on the face. That sounded the best.
to start a pretty straight and curved left. So.
Then you open the face more, and then the ball starts more to the right. So you're sort of over curving them a little bit. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to move this weight to the toe so that we're effectively making the heel of the club bigger so that when you hit it, hopefully it's not going to curve as much to the left.
Yeah, look at that.
Your shoulders far right as you can. So you're gonna do.
See how that took some of the curve off?
Yeah, sure did.
And then look at that face tape.
A little high and toey.
Yep, so if you looked, this, I took that face tape off and it is this one. So if you look, this was a 45.5 inch.
Mm-hmm.
And see how you're striking them closer to the heel side?
Yeah.
That one's 45 inches, and now you're striking them a little closer to the toe side.
Okay.
But then what I did is, since you're hitting them slightly off the toe, I moved that weight towards the toe to make the heel bigger. So when you hit it out of the toe, it acts more like you hit it maybe center or slightly heel, so that the ball doesn't curve as far to the left.
And I remember you said that's more, if we're going to have a miss hit on, didn't we want it to be, we're better off being out than we are toward the heel?
Yeah, you miss hit it slightly more here, your ball's going to draw. You hit it slightly here, your ball's going to spin a lot and slice off to the right.
Slicey.
Yeah, you don't want that.
Beautiful.
Going
I bet
around.
that's going to be a good one.
Still, I'll tell you, it's not far off line at all, is it?
No, it's not bad. So I'm going to put a Titleist in your hands here.
Okay. Yeah, not swung this year.
It's the TSI 3?
TSI 2 at 10 degrees aloft.
TSI 2, huh? Yeah.
Yeah, I'm not too sure. I have my manager in the middle last time now.
That's probably slightly toe.
Okay. It's high. Well, that worked out good. Okay. Not much distance at all now.
What's your initial reaction so far?
I don't know. This is it's an interesting feeling club on this.
Yeah?
Yeah.
I think it feels way better than the old one. For the TS.
Yeah, I don't know. I never swung the old ones.
They put a lot of work into this face.
Did they? I trust you. I trust you.
I just think it feels and sounds way different than the other Titleist drivers.
I mean, this might be the first Titleist driver I ever swung.
Really?
Could be. Yeah, I think it is.
So go ahead and hit a couple more with this one, and then we'll just go over some numbers, and I might have you hit another club too.
Nobody's here.
Where we strike that one.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
That sounds really good.
Yeah, I felt good too.
Try slightly. Slightly center there again. Yeah, take that tape off and hit another one. That's not terrible.
No.
So I want to show you just some numbers here first.
Okay.
So I kept 2 shots that you hit really well with the Titleist. I kept 2 shots that you hit really well with the Ping.
Okay.
And then there's the 1 shot that you hit with the TaylorMade.
Yeah.
So if you looked at your current club, we kept 4 shots there.
Okay.
And the best ones that you were hitting were carrying or totaling 233, 230, 238, 233, and just averaging a launch angle that was a little low. Backspin was a little high, so you're just not getting the most distance there. And you hit one really good one with the sim,
Yeah.
right? You got the most distance. And then if you looked at the Ping there, not terrible. Ball speed was better,
Yeah.
or about the same as your current club, sorry. The backspin rate was lower. Launch angle was a little higher. And then that ball started totaling 242, 245.
Yeah.
Got the launch up, got the spin down,
Yeah.
right? Then if you looked at the Titleist, the ball speeds were the highest,
Okay.
but backspin rates were a little high. It's like the last shot
Oh,
you
yeah,
just...
sure enough.
So the ball speed was way higher, But then we see how it launched like at 13 and the backspin was at 3,300 in that blue one on the bottom there.
Yeah.
So if that backspin rate could come down a little bit, we might be able to increase the distance on the Titleist for sure.
Okay.
So I might just take a little bit of loft off, or I could put it in a heavier, stiffer shaft.
Do you think we try a little loft on the Titleist and see how we do?
Yeah.
Little loft off? I like that.
Or I might even, since you can hit it out of the center, we might even go with the TSI 3 and put it in that same shaft.
Okay.
Let's do that. I just like seeing the high ball speed on that.
Yeah.
That makes me
All right, good.
excited. And then this is a 9-degree head, so I need to add loft.
He's on a quest for loft.
Yeah.
Yes.
Must have more loft.
I'm exhausted. I'm
You're
getting old.
loftless. That's what your wife says too.
I have no loft. Say if it is, it wasn't you. Yeah, it's crazy. The head feels so super duper heavy.
Does that feel way heavy?
Yeah.
Okay.
Interesting.
That's fine. I just wanted to have you hit it. See what happens. TSI 2 didn't perform bad.
No. Hit another one?
Yeah.
Hit another one? This one I feel like feels way lighter.
Yeah.
Okay.
What we got there? Let me see that thing.
Let's see epic speed. Oh, shiny and new too. Look
The
at
last
that.
one you didn't hit bad though. Just you hit it farther,
Yeah, it's further, right? But it's interesting.
but offline. If the heaviness feels like you can't control it, then yeah, that's part of the process too.
Let's see. It's up on the heel. Yeah, that was a bad swinger. Here we go.
Here you go.
There we go.
Carry 230. Touch 250. Touch it. Here you go. Launched at 14. Spin was 2,600.
It's going right. Oh, it is draw. That's still Drew. Look at that. Okay. I'll take that. Kind of on par with the others for distance.
Yeah, and the ball speed's higher than your current Epic. Ball speed's averaging 136 versus the ball speed averaging 134.
Okay.
233 average total, 247 average total. Not bad.
Yeah, let's say so because I feel like dispersion-wise too. So far, this has been the
Yeah, you have one 9 yards offline and you got one 8 yards offline.
okay. I would say is that probably the best, the tightest so far?
Out of the 2 solid shots we have with each one,
Okay.
Callaway's at 8.5 offline, the Ping's at 11. The one shot you hit with the TaylorMade was at 5, and then your current one was a 21. So, other than the one shot you hit with the TaylorMade, I'd say yes. Still total 240. You're hitting that one okay.
Yeah, that wasn't
I
terrible.
don't think the length is necessarily a bad thing for you either.
No.
So go ahead and swing. I'm gonna put the 10-side shaft in that TaylorMade again. Let's have you swing that one.
Okay. See, that just felt good.
That was pretty good.
Yeah, that's not bad. It's not
Launched
too
at
shabby.
13, spin was 3. That's not the worst there.
Sounded good.
It's going right, but it spun. It launched good at 13.
Okay.
Spun 3,300, but still totaled 242
Okay.
because the ball speeds are higher, so the ball's going further. So I'm gonna keep the same shaft on there, but I'm gonna go lower loft with a slightly more forgiving head and see what happens there.
Okay.
Also with a slightly more.
So we're going to Sim 2 Max.
We're going Sim 2 Max at 9 degree.
Ooh.
So a little less loft, and then maybe we see if we can get it to launch where we want it to, but have a hair more spin. I don't want to take loft off and then kick spin down too much and then get inaccurate.
That was wipey. That's a wipey. That was a wipey shot.
She got it over 250.
That's pretty funny for that swing.
Interesting.
Yeah. Yeah, if you'd have blindfolded me and asked me where that ball went, I'd be like, yeah, 210 yards and 25 yards to the right.
The ball speed was the highest so far.
Oh, really? I gotta turn those wrists at the top.
It's still 236 total. So
Terrible.
no.
But
But off a bad one, I mean, I'm trying to fit you for your good strikes, but if you see that the
Yeah.
bad ones are going further too, that's what you're.
that makes all the sense in the world to me.
That helps you
Because
out.
it's not if it's winning around, right?
There you go. Launched at 10, 2400, 249 total.
Then I'm getting it left like I wanted
20 yards left. That was only 20 yards off line.
Well, that's not coming back at all, is it? Okay.
It's only 20, that was 28 yards to the right. So that's your right rough, right edge of the fairway.
Yeah.
253 total. Launched at 15, 2300 spin. So
300 spin. Wow, that's a good. Is that one my lower? I'm guessing, right?
yeah, so you like that. That's good.
Okay.
Because what we were trending is we were trending lower launch, higher spin.
Okay.
So we started trying to get more loft, stiffer shaft to help bring the spin down but get the launch up. And we did that a little bit.
Mm-hmm.
But then it was just trending that they were launching too high, spinning too much. So I went lower loft, slightly more forgiving head. And we're seeing really good results with that combo there.
I like that. Off the toe. Look at that high.
Toe job.
Toe job. High little toe job.
Toe job, middle of the fairway.
Yeah.
Twist face.
Twist face.
Oh, yeah, you need to see it. It wanted to.
It is.
It is a little bit, huh? So that was a
250.
good shot.
So your current driver, 233, launched too low, spun too much. So the ball just never got a chance to get up in the air and carry as far as it could.
Yeah, and I think Gabe would agree. Yeah, from playing them all the time, we see that. You see a low,
The
a low
stuff,
ball.
all that shark's low, and then it kind of looks like it climbs up in the air a
Yeah.
little bit, and then you're like, ooh, that looks pretty good. And then you
Yeah.
get out there, and you're like, wow, I have 180 yards to the green on this
Yeah.
400-yard par 4?
Exactly.
Right?
Yeah, it's like you've been there with me.
It's like I've also played golf like that at one point in my life, too. And then the sim that you hit one good shot with, and then the rest of them weren't as good. You can just see how the ball, we had the 10.5 with the sim 2.
Yeah.
Launch angle was okay, spin was okay, but just didn't hit it well.
Yeah.
The less forgiving head on your miss hits just wasn't helping you out.
Yeah.
And then we go to the sim 2 max with 9 degrees, same shaft we had in the first one. And then we see ball speed stays high, launch angle's pretty good, spin rate's pretty good, descent angle's pretty good, and then you're averaging 250.
Yeah.
Had one that went 251, one that went 249, one that went 254, and one that went 249. And then we had the epic speed, and you hit a couple of good shots with that one too.
Yeah, that's a pretty good. It's a good feeling club. I think it felt second best to me.
Yeah.
If I had to rate them.
Yeah.
You're used to it too, so you'd think.
Yeah. Yeah.
I mean,
So, I mean, as far as the numbers go, if I were to sort of recommend a driver
Sure.
to you,
Be this
that would
color
sort of
right
be
in my
the
hand.
that would sort of be the setup that we could go with right there.
Yeah. I like it. So it's the 9
And
degree
it's just a
Sim 2 Max.
hair more draw bias than the sim to the regular sim.
Oh,
2.
this one is?
Just a hair.
Okay. What is the main difference between the Sim 2 and the Sim 2 Max?
So if you looked at the bottom part of it, see how this weight here is
Okay.
a little bit closer to the center of the face,
Yeah.
and this one's closer to the heel.
Okay.
So that makes the toe of the club bigger, which helps you on your heel strikes to make it perform more like a toe strike, so
That
the ball
makes
goes
sense.
straighter. Also, the weighting that they have in the head here for the Sim 2 Max is a little further back and lower
Sure.
to help make it more forgiving. So imagine if you had the most weight in the back of this thing and the lowest, and you hit it the most off the toe, the club wouldn't twist or the gear effect wouldn't
Okay.
happen as much, right?
Yeah.
So like on your most forgiving drivers, you're going to get the lowest ball speeds and the highest spin, but
Yeah.
on way miss hits for people, the ball can go as straight as possible.
Yeah.
Whereas like your tour pros, they don't want that because they can hit it there every time.
Yeah.
So when they hit it there every time, they want that ball to have the lowest spin rates, the highest ball speeds. If they miss-hit it, it's not the driver's fault. They like to blame the driver,
makes
but it's
sense.
not.
That makes sense.
All right, Wade. So, what'd you think of the experience, man?
I am pooped. That's a lot of drivers.
69 shots he
69
took.
drivers.
I think I got every single one of them. I was holding this camera the whole time, which I'm
gonna,
pretty pooped too.
I think I'm gonna go home and just sleep.
Yeah.
Lay out for a while.
Right.
That was really fun. It's really interesting just to see the different results with the different drivers.
Right.
And,
So
and
what-
even just how some of them, the newer, they might be brand new, but they just feel like. I think
Right.
it was, what was it? The newest Titleist really felt like a brick to me, and everything was going hard to the
Oh,
right.
you felt it was like, yeah.
Yeah. So it was cool. It was
All
a good
these new
experience,
drivers are
man.
incredible, though, man. It's whew.
Yeah.
There's definitely one for everyone out there. It's not always
Yeah.
the same one for everyone, but today for you is the Sim 2 Max.
It is.
Congratulations, man.
Yeah, I think we're on the road to a new driver.
All right, I think
Yeah.
you got yourself another 20 yards, man.
I mean, I think so. I need it. You know I need it.
You need it. See ya.